is one of the functional dependency B to A that I have concluded using the rules, right? I have to find out all the possible functional dependencies, Now, next in R2, this is my R2. In R2, if you can see, we are having B to C. This I am already having there. What I can conclude is from C to A and A to B. A is dependent on C and B is dependent on A. Using the first and the third functional dependency, again applying the transitivity rule, I can conclude that B is dependent on C, right? So I am having B is dependent on C. So these are the functional dependencies that I can have in these two different relations, R1 and R2. Now, how I have to check if the decomposition is dependency preserving or not? Just do one thing, you perform union on F1 and F2. When I perform union on F1 and F2, I am having this A to B there, I am having this B to C there, I am having this B to A there, I am having this C to B there, right? Now you can see initially in F I was having A to B that this union is giving me. I am having B to C that this union is again giving me. This C to A. Can I conclude from there C to A? Yes, I can. We have C to B, we have B to A. I can derive C to A again using the transitivity rule. In short, you can see using the union and applying all the rules in the closure, I am having all the functional dependencies preserved that was I am having in my initial set, right? So in this case we can say that the decomposition is dependency preserving because all the functional dependencies are preserved even after the relation is normalized and decomposed, right? Now let's take another example that is a little bit difficult. So we have a relation R, we have 4 attributes A, B, C, D, and this is the set of functional dependencies given to me, A, B to C, D and D to A. And suppose I decompose it into R1 and R2 like this. R1 is AD and R2 is BCD. Now I have to distribute these two functional dependencies in these two relations. AB to CD, I don't know where to keep this. I cannot keep the AB to CD in R1 because I am not having attribute B and C there. I cannot keep AB to CD in R2 again because I am not having attribute A. Make sure when you are dividing the functional dependencies, you have to make sure that the attribute that is occurring in that particular functional dependency should be a part of that relation, right? I cannot have A, B to C, D there because B and C are not in this relation. I cannot have A, B to C, D in R2 as well because A is not there in R2, right? So let's move to the second functional dependency, D to A. Can I have D to A there? Yes. D to A will hold in R1 because I am having both the functional both the attributes A and D in R1, right? Now, what about this AB to CD? We will start finding out the closure of each of the attribute. Using this functional dependencies, you can see that using B, I cannot determine any attribute. Using B, I can determine only B. Using C, I can determine only C. But using D, I can determine A, but I cannot include it here because I am not having A, right? So just ignore this. Ignore all this. Now, then I am having BC to BC. Yes, using B and C, I can determine only B and C because none of the functional dependencies show me that I can find any attribute using BC. Okay, then CD to CD again. Now using BD, what I have done is I have made all possible combinations on the LHS of my functional dependencies. You can see this, I have made all possible combinations and I am finding out which functional dependencies I need to consider, right? So BD to ABCD, how I can write this is, if in this particular D to A, if in this particular functional dependency I add B on both the sides of D to A using the augmentation rule. If I add B on both the sides of D to A, it will become BD to AB. So BD to AB means A is dependent on BD, B is dependent on BD, right? And when we are having BD to AB and we are having AB to C, I can say that C and A both are dependent on BD. In short, I can find this that if we add B to both sides, D to A, then we can say AB to CD implies BD to ABCD. In short, we can say that attribute BD to A, I cannot include BD to A because A I am not having in R2, but I can say BD to C because C is the attribute dependent on BD. So we are having BD to C, we are having D to A. We have concluded these two functional dependencies. F1 is having D to A and F2 is having BD to C. Now performing the union of these two, we have D to A and BD to C. If I perform union of these two, I don't think so I can conclude, I can find out AB to CD. You have to apply all the possible rules on these two functional dependencies. If I am applying, I am not able to retrieve my AB to CD functional dependency. It means AB to CD is lost even if I am performing union and finding out the closure of this. It means the main condition, that is F1 union F2, I have performed the union of F1 and F2, then I have performed the closure, I have applied the Armstrong rule, that is not equal to my initial F. It means I have lost one functional dependency AB to CD. So we will say that decomposition is lossless. That you will see to it that we can say that decomposition is not dependency preserving because I have lost my one dependency, one functional dependency. But you can see that decomposition is lossless, that we have started in the earlier property. How it is lossless? You can see according to this, according to the definition of lossless, we were having three conditions, that there should be at least one common attribute. Yes, I am having the attribute D as common attribute between R1 and R2, and that common attribute should be candidate key of at least candidate key of either R1 or R2. You can see here D is the candidate key of R1 because A is dependent on D. D is the candidate key of R1. So I am having one common attribute, and that common attribute is candidate key of one of the relation R1. So we will say that decomposition is lossless, but it is not dependency preserving. Lossless is required property, it's a mandatory property. Your normalization should be lossless, but dependency preservation, it's not a mandatory property. I hope you understood it. For further problems, further practice problems, you can refer to the YouTube videos that I have shared. So thank you class.